Points will be main focus will be given on the Pratiharas and Rajputas. But let me to start from the Rashtrakutas, right? First of all, you have to learn which type of questions are asked from this side. Later on, I will give you sufficient information and knowledge about Rashtrakutas. For some basic features you will learn. First of all, you learn which type of questions are asked, right? Actually, some short questions are asked from this side. For example, in which area Rashtrakuta used to rule? Who was the founder of Rashtrakuta Empire? Name the most important or greatest ruler of Rashtrakuta. When was Rashtrakuta Empire founded? These are some simple and short questions. For example, name one of the most learned or scholar ruler of Rashtrakuta who wrote a book, Kaviraga Mark. So this type of 1 mark question is asked. Sometimes 3 marks question is mention the titles taken by Rashtrakutas. 5 marks question, mention or explain the main features of Rashtrakuta. Right? So this type of questions are asked. On such question-based explanation is given to you by me. You listen and you see the book also. If you have any problem, you will ask. Rashtrakuta was one of the most important political power which emerged in North India in 753 CE, right? 753 CE. In this way, this empire was set up in 753 CE. The area which was covered by them were Gujarat, Madhya Pradesh, Bihar, Maharashtra, and Karnataka. Map is also given here on the page. Map is there. You can see their location, right? Here location is given. Rashtrakuta in Deccan. It covers Gujarat, Madhya Pradesh, Bihar, Maharashtra, and Karnataka. Its founder of this empire was Danti Durga, right? Here it is written Danti Durga. Okay? So Danti Durga was the founder of Rashtrakuta dynasty. The most important kings of this dynasty were Govinda III and Amogha Varsha. Both of these rulers has ruled the empire from 814 CE to 880 CE. What were the specialties of them? What were the merits of them? What were the features of them? I have already said to you that feature related question comes for 5 marks. The question regarding features carries minimum 5 marks, maximum 5 marks. You should learn minimum 5 facts. What you can write, what you should learn, first, they were the great warriors, fighters. They used to win the battle very easily, so technically and fiercely used to fight against the enemies because they were great warriors, fighters. So they were the great warriors. They were the art lovers. I mean, they had sufficient support. They used to give sufficient support for the development of art and architecture. They were great scholars. They took three titles: Chakravarti, Maharaja Dhiraj, and Param Bhattarak. Actually, these titles used to show their power. Third one was, since they were the great warriors, they were the kings, they were very powerful kings, so they used to organize very large army that helped them to defeat enemy very easily. They encouraged trade. I mean, the trade link was very strong with other countries also. Internal as well as external trade was flourishing, very developed. So they encouraged trade to bring prosperity, richness, and happiness in their country. As you know, trade is one of the most important source of income, and it make the country richer. Now, next important feature is what? They followed Jainism. Jainism religion was popular there. As you know, Jainism was founded by whom? Mahavir, right? 24th Tirthankar he was. They followed Jainism, but other religious sects were also given preference, were given support. For example, Buddhist, Hindus, and Islam, I mean Muslims, to Buddhism, Hinduism, and Islam. These three religions were given full support by them. The Buddhists, Hindus, and Muslims were also happy in those days. They were the great patrons of art and architecture and literature. Okay, one of you have asked me to repeat. Again, I am repeating the feature of Rashtrakutas. You will have to know Rashtrakutas were the great warriors, art lovers, and scholars. I mean learned person. They used to adopt the titles Chakravarti, Maharaja Dhiraj, Param Bhattarak. They used to have or keep huge army, large army. They had organized large army. They developed their trade, encouraged their trade, so that prosperity and happiness can be brought among the people. Next, they followed Jainism and they gave support and help to the Buddhists, Hindus, and Muslims. It is said, or it is one of the best feature of Rashtrakuta was what? It was a bridge between North India and South India. I mean, his empire was a link between North and South. What does it mean? It means their empire was touching the area of both sides, and culture was also accumulated there. As you have learned here, their empire was extended into Gujarat, from Gujarat to Karnataka, I mean Gujarat, Maharashtra, MP, I mean Madhya Pradesh, Bihar, Karnataka. Karnataka is belonging was, or nowadays also, it is into the south part of India, South India, it is in South India. So it was the bridge between North India and South India. And now next point is what? They were the great patrons. Patron means one who takes all care of anything like art, literature, music, dance, etc. with full support, I mean by giving all types of help with money, security, safety, etc. In those periods, rock cut temples were also built at Ellora, that is related with Hindu, Buddhist and Jain community. Okay, so these were the main features of Rashtrakutas. Now here you see rock cut temples now at Ellora, situated related with Hindus, Buddhist and Jain community. Amokbars was the famous and scholar ruler under Rashtrakuta dynasty. He wrote a very famous book, Kaviragar Marg, that is related with Kannada poetry. Now, this was the main features. They were very powerful. But one demerit was also inherent with them, in them. What was that? They engaged in continuous war with other rest powers like Palas, Pratiharas, and at last, this attitude or this habit to fight against them has eaten their strength, I mean weakened them, and their power declined. Chalukya, another famous political power, attacked over their areas and destroyed their power and took control over their territories. In this way, Rashtrakuta power ended. Okay. Now, in this way, yesterday, next is Palas. You know, Pala I have described or explained yesterday very clearly. In short, I am giving you some gist. You will read the book. If you have any problem, you will ask, because I have repeated it yesterday also, but I am summarizing here. Pala dynasty was established in Bengal and Bihar. The founder of this dynasty was Gopala. He was an elected ruler. He was elected by the people in Bengal. And his empire was known as Pala Empire, Pala dynasty, because after Gopala, whoever became the ruler, they took the title Pala. I mean the term Pala added after their name. So all the kings had bore the title Pala, and it is why they were called Pala dynasty. This dynasty was known as Pala dynasty. Now, Dharmapala was one of the most important ruler. I mean, greatest ruler, not one of the. He was the greatest ruler, and he had set up Bikramshil Bihar, Bikramshila University, that is nowadays situated in Bhagalpur district near Kahalgaon. It was the center of Buddhist education, and you know, or you should know, that the students from other countries used to come here to get education, to receive education. After that, Devapala became the ruler. His contribution is mentioned here in few lines. He extended his empire, I mean he conquered some area and extended his empire and defeated Hans. Now, they gave support to Buddhism. Buddhism was the main religion there. They did some work for the spread of religion. For example, they sent some learned people, scholars, and missionaries to other countries to spread Buddhism. They gave grants to the Brahmins, I mean give something, I mean amount villages to Brahmins to to build temples and maintain the temples for the maintenance. For the maintenance cost, some grants were given. They were the patron. Again, I'm telling you the meaning of patron, a person who supports or take care of art, literature, etc. by giving money, safety, security, etc. So this was the Pala. Now, today we have to discuss two main points, and that is about Pratihara and Palas. Now I am showing you some pictures, some photographs of temples and personality. Now you should learn that is related with our subject matter. You see, you will not write anything on the photographs. Yes, wait. He is Nagabhatta, the founder of Pratihara dynasty. Now, Pratihara was ruling the country or area, Gujarat and southern Rajasthan. This dynasty was founded by Nagabhatta I, and you have seen the photo of that king. Actually, the greater ruler of this dynasty was the greatest ruler of this dynasty was Mihir Bhoj. He conquered Kannauj around 836 CE, right? He used to fight against other powers, and his continuous war also brought a weakness in their power. And due to this continuous battle, that power also declined. But in spite of it, they have contributed too much to our Indian society, Indian culture. You have to know about the main features of Pratihara dynasty. Pratihara dynasty was founded by Nagabhatta I. It was founded in Gujarat and southern West Rajasthan. They were the great warriors. They fought many battles against the Palas and Pratiharas. They were the great patrons of art and literature. I have already discussed. I have already said the meaning of patron. Most important king of this dynasty was Mihir Bhoj, who was a well-known scholar. Next, in that period, many regional languages developed like Marathi, Gujarati, Assamese, Oriya. Many temples were built in that period. They were Khajuraho, temples of Khajuraho, Kanchipuram, Tanjavur, Bhubaneswar, Puri, Konark. Now, in this period, a miniature painting, a new style of painting developed. Miniature painting means very small paintings, right? Miniature means small. As you know, Pratihara has their empire was divided into 4 groups, 5 groups. 5 kingdoms were there under Pratiharas. 5 kingdoms which emerged from the Pratihara empire were the Chauhans of Rajasthan, Gaharwal of Kannauj, Solanki of Gujarat, Paramars of Malwas, and the Chandels of Bundelkhand. All of them were Kshatriyas. Pratiharas means Kshatriyas, Rajputs. So in this way, this is the main feature of the Pratihara dynasty. Again, I'm saying you, I repeat it, the main features. They were the great warriors. Very good fighters who used to conquer the battle very easily. They fought many battles against the Palas and Pratihara. They were the great patrons of art and literature. It means literature. Many books were written, prose, poetry, drama were composed. literature were developed, many buildings were built. Mihir Bhoj was the most important and well-known king of this dynasty. Many regional languages developed during this period, for example, Marathi, Gujarati, Assamese, and Oriya. Many temples were built, for example, temples of Khajuraho, temples of Kanchipuram, temples of Tanjavur, temples of Bhubaneswar, Puri, and Konark. 2-3 pictures were shown just 2 minutes before on the screen. And last one feature is what? The miniature painting started there. I mean, it was a very small type of paintings, right? Miniature paintings means very small painting, executed with great details. Now, it is written in your keywords also. So in this way, you have learned about Pratiharas. Now you learn about the Rajputs. Actually, before the emergence of Rajput, what happened? They emerged in 7th and 8th century. The three empires, I mean Pala, Pratiharas, and Rashtrakutas, they got their end in 9th century. And in 10th century, three important developments took place in medieval period. This is important from the examination point of view also. Question may come, mention the three important developments that took place during 10th century in medieval period. You see, in your book it is written, but I am telling you in this way. North India came into contact with the Western and Central Asia through the trade, commerce, war, etc. Next, most of the kingdoms came under the control of Rajputs. Third, political instability rose due to the continuous war. I mean, there was no any ruler who could rule for a long time. There was the change in the ruling power, I mean rulers. So in this way, these three main developments took place. And fourth, what happened? Turkish rule began to emerge in our country because they attack on India. There are some theory, concept, belief regarding the origin of Rajputs. Who are the Rajputs? How they did emerge? Some theories are given. Line-wise it is given, but I am telling you in point-wise. You see, some say that they were the son of Rajas. Son of Rajas were known as Rajput, but all the Rajputs were not the son of Rajas. Some others say Rajput was originated from sun and moon. It is why they used to say themselves Suryavanshi and Chandravanshi. I mean, a theory is here, according to which it is said they were the sons of Lord Surya, I mean Surya, and moon, sun and moon. I mean the god of sun and god of moon. They were the descendant of them. They saw the origin of themselves, they saw their origin in the moon and sun. Some historians say Rajputs were the descendant of foreign tribes. I mean, offsprings of foreign tribes who came here to attack and settled. Some say they are born from the fire altars. I mean, you have seen yagyas, yajnas, you have seen in your school Vedic mantras are recited during the Havan, that you give something in the fire, that is altar. No. So in this way, someone has called the god to send a superpower in the country to protect them. It is said from the Agnis, from the fire, this the Rajputas came out. I mean, a person came out. He was Kshatriya, Rajput, and their descendants were known as Rajputs. There are 4 groups of the Rajputas. They were Parmars, Malwa, Pratiharas, Rajasthan, Gujarat, Chauhans in Ajmer, and Chalukya in Gujarat. And it is said there were 36 clans. I mean, वंश जो उनका था वो 36 थे. ठीक है. लास्ट में है कि अबाउट पृथ्वीराज चौहान कि बैटल टुक प्लेस. 2 battles were fought in the battlefield of Tarain. One was 1191 and other was 1192, about which I will tell you later on. Now you can ask the question